Another busy week of news in and around Gloucester, and Taylor Bradford of the Gloucester Times joins us once again. How are you, Taylor?
I'm doing well, guys. It's a beautiful day and excited to get down into what's going on here in Gloucester.
Yeah, let's dig right in now and talk about the latest budget talks.
Yeah, so as Corey said, this is budget season here in the city of Gloucester, and so there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot to reflect on. The mayor presented her proposed fiscal 2022 budget to the city council at a special meeting on Tuesday, and the budget was proposed at $120 million. Now, this is a slight increase to last year's that was set at $117.9 million. And so it's about a 2% increase. And the biggest things that the mayor had to talk about was one, the efforts of everyone within the city to kind of keep people afloat during the pandemic, acknowledging those who did stay afloat and those who maybe had sunk during just due to the financial crisis that the pandemic caused here in the city. But a big thing to note and reflect on is just how they're going to respond to this year, knowing the unpredictability of last year. Because I remember covering this last year, and the pandemic was just a blip on our radar. We knew there was a virus, but there really wasn't any understanding of just the total impact it would have. Now, looking a year later, the city's trying to understand how they can, one, kind of play a little bit of defense on what happened and how they can kind of recover from it. I know that the mayor had mentioned a couple different things, and one was noting that there's currently a lag in the federal process that may create some cash flow issues as they wait for reimbursements from last year. She noted that the city and the school district did receive funds, COVID-related funds, as we know and we've reported on, but not all of those pandemic-related expenses were reimbursed. So they're still waiting for those. So again, entering into last year, COVID hit, and now trying to kind of navigate the muddy waters of getting reimbursed so they can kind of stay ready and prepared for this upcoming year, I think is going to be the city's biggest challenge as they look into it. And as they do that, the mayor noted that they're going to be looking at, the long-term unknowns, the impacts on local revenues, and the local aid Chapter 90 are all things that they'll need to address to maintain financial security. So those are the big things that she noted in Tuesday's meeting, and you can go to City Hall or city's website to get the full budget report or the full proposed budget. Obviously, they'll be having a public hearing in which the residents can discuss and talk about what their concerns or comments might be on the budget. And just to note too is that in the budget for this upcoming year, it does include a $45.6 million line item, and that is for the Gloucester Public Schools. So if we think about the two biggest entities within the city is the city and the school district. And so about $46 million are going to be allotted to the school district as we look at a lot of different things happening within that part of the city this year.
Taylor, I am remembering that we spoke to Jim Destino around this time last year about the budget, and he was very, very clear to say that the city went into the 2020 in very good financial shape, and that was going to keep it strong. And we would see how, where everything looked in about a year. And it seems as if a 2% increase isn't too bad.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is looking at and seeing, okay, how much, if they did need additional funds, did it come from grants, right? That thing of, where was the money? How many loans did they have to take out versus how many grants did they receive? And so thinking about, in reality, are they putting themselves in more debt, or are they just being able to be gifted money just due to the innovative ideas and thoughts through different departments and committees here in Gloucester?
Interesting. Yes.
Well, shifting gears now from budget season to election season, another big story developing.
Yeah, so we'll have the budget, which is a yearly occurrence, and then we have election season, which I feel like we just came out of an election season throughout the nation, but now we're looking at the localized level. People that we all know and we've conversed with and we're talking with, and trying to see what the next year of administration looks like here in the city. And so in the past week, we have kind of pulled and tried to figure out by contacting the city clerk of, who's pulled papers to run for different offices here in Gloucester. And as of right now, 2 people have pulled papers for the seat as mayor of Gloucester, and that is Joseph Polizza and Brian Pollard. I did reach out to the mayor and ask if she's planning to run. She said she is planning to run for re-election. She just hasn't pulled papers yet. So as of last week, that was kind of the confirmation we got from her. However, it's not become official through the city. However, it is still early in the game, so we will see where that all leads and how many more people, pull papers to get signatures to run for mayor. But that's not the only office that is open for elections this year. Every single city council seat and school committee seat is also open for re-election this year. And so as of right now, we have one incumbent on the city council running for re-election, and that's Ward 5 Councilor Sean Nolan. Vincent Orlando is seeking a place on the city council's Ward 2, and Carlton McKay Jr. is aiming to be Ward 3's councilor. And then Gregory Verga, who was the former city councilor, he's also running again for seat as councilor at large. So that's the city council, and then we look at the school committee, and there's a slew of incumbents running again. That includes Kathleen Clancy, Melissa Joy, Sierra Prince, Samantha Watson, and Laura Wiesen. And then if we look at those who are, looking to have their first go around at school committee, include William Melvin, Richard Roberts, and Thomas Stein. So we have a lot of names already out, already pulled papers. But again, it's early in the game, and here in the Gloucester Daily Times, we're going to be looking to do a weekly or every other week kind of update on where we're sitting with not only the early election process, but throughout the entire thing to kind of see how this thing pans out in the next year. And just to note, for people who are watching this or reading our articles online, and maybe you're interested in running for a seat as mayor, school committee, or city council, just to note is that the deadline to take out nomination papers is July 27th. And the deadline to submit nomination papers for certification of signatures to the Board of Registrars within the city is that same date, July 27th at 5 p.m. So it's going to be a really interesting summer as people start to run their campaigns, and we start to get more into the details and into the weeds of each individual candidate.
And Taylor, we do believe that Mayor Taken has announced that she will run. She just hasn't taken out the papers yet.
Correct. Yeah. So she will run. She's running for re-election. She just hasn't pulled papers officially by the city clerk's paperwork. So, but once she does, I'm sure we'll hear wind of it and let you guys all know as soon as possible.
Sounds great. All right, let's talk Tik Tok Mania, Taylor, which is gripping the locals right now.
Yeah. So for those who don't know it, I want to start. For those who don't know what TikTok is, TikTok, similar to Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat, is a social media platform that has a lot of people from a lot of different generations fixated on their phones and getting creative. So TikTok is a video sharing app that allows users to create 15 seconds to 1 minute videos. And those users' followers can send virtual gifts that can be later exchanged for money. So it's a really interesting platform that not only is very navigable and very, I think a lot of people would say addictive because of just the short clips that you can kind of watch. People can be witty, they can be very musically inclined. There's a lot of dances on there. Since it was created in 2016, the TikTok has become a stepping stone to a lot of pop icons such as dancer Charli D'Amelio and musician Lil Nas X. So a lot of people actually got their start to fame on this application, which is so interesting. And the cool thing about Gloucester and why I'm talking about TikTok here on a local 1623 is because some of our younger generations are kind of gaining that traction and making their name for themselves on the platform of TikTok. So I had the opportunity to speak with Brad Manley, who's a young 16-year-old man here in Gloucester, and he reached out to me kind of letting them know about his TikTok account, which is called the Wayback House. And the Wayback House is a group of 10 individuals, between the ages of 13 and 18 who are creating TikToks, and they have actually become the biggest TikTok content house in New England. And what that means is that they've garnered 510,000 followers, 5 million likes, and 20 million views, which is not nothing. That's quite a lot of followers. That's a lot of individuals watching their videos, sharing them with their friends. And the thing that really sets this TikTok account apart from others is that, Manley and his team really worked to go way back to 2019 before the pandemic and really kind of tug on those nostalgic heartstrings of those who are longing for a time pre-pandemic. And
Black and white.
Yeah, and the thing too is which I think really speaks to those who maybe used TikTok prior to the pandemic, is that a lot of their music and a lot of their dances are very specific to TikTok and to TikTok in 2019. And so a lot of the music is, they're saying that this music or these dance moves were really popular back then. And so they're trying to go back to that time. Now, some people might say that 2019 wasn't that long ago.
Oh, it's vintage TikTok. Yeah.
These kids, it was a long time ago. It was a year without their friends. It was a year kind of isolated. And they said, this is a great way to connect and talk and collaborate for a really fun way. And so as I was talking with them, our photographer, Paul Bilodeau, and I had the chance to go to Good Harbor Beach the other day and watch them film and talk. And one of their members, Will Toppin, who goes by the name Exo Lotto, he's their DJ and he mixes music. He kind of mentioned how news often creates this narrative that social media is ruining teens' lives. And he said that this is not the case for the Wayback crew. And he said that this has been so much fun. They've been able to collaborate. The Wayback House crew of 10 people, spans not only in Gloucester, but from Gloucester to California. And so how it works is that they all come together and create 100 videos each a month and just put them on their website, put them on their account. And that's how they gain followers, is just by being consistent and being creative. And so their ultimate goal, believe it or not, is to buy an actual house. And so this crew wants to buy an actual house and bring their whole crew to one house and collaborate and create these videos in one space. Now, this might seem like a pretty big dream, but it's not uncommon for influencers of social media to actually get sponsored and move to different locations. So as their specific job is to create these contents and this video footage in a specific location. So this is their dream. And as of the time that I spoke with them earlier this week, they've garnered $4,000 from videos alone, which is quite a bit of money, and we'll see where it goes. And, as Brad Manley said, he said, I'm going to follow my dreams and hopefully continue this, and he has no plans on stopping.
And these kids aren't even high school seniors yet, right?
Some of them are. Some of them, there's one girl who I believe she was 13 or 14 years old, from Connecticut, who actually drove all the way to visit with us on Tuesday. And so they're quite a big age range. And so some of them are going to be here for a while. Some of them are going off to college. So we'll see if they stay continued in the group. Brad Manley also mentioned that it's pretty, while they have 10 people, sometimes it's very fluid in terms of people leaving and people coming, but there tends to be a core group of people that stay to kind of maintain that foundation of kind of what they stand for and what their goal is.
Taylor, can you imagine what the creators of Vine are doing to themselves right now?
I forgot about Vine.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's really way back.
Yeah, it was TikTok before TikTok, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's about
missed the boat. All
3
right,
months.
awesome stuff again. Yeah, that was a fun chat, Taylor. So we're looking forward to hearing about, of course, the budget story and election season, and these little vignettes coming from Cape Ann too, like these TikTok kids. That was great.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.